What's up, guys? I'm Travis from Woodstyle Shinobi. This is the Guitar Builders Podcast. Joined with me, my co-host, Mike from Element Zero Guitars, and our special guest, Trevor from Woodstyle Shinobi. What's up, guys? Let's start with you, Trev, since you're the special guest. Coop de la Poo. What have you been working on?
Oh, the coup de poo, of course. It's still the great guitar build-off 2021. We still have not made it into our Halloween build yet. So, I am currently working on my bass that should never exist. A bit of an update since last I was on here. The creator of Berserk, I can't remember his name right now because it's Japanese and I'm American.
Yeah.
But
hey, we don't care about things that's not happening in front of us. Yeah,
that's true.
Recently passed away. Very sad. One of the greatest creators of our generations.
Yeah.
So
he really inspired a lot. Actually, before we get into what my bass is looking like at the moment, I want to bring up a couple honorable mentions because anyone who's watched the new season of Castlevania, Mike, you'll know that Striga was a direct inspiration from Guts, the guy that I'm making the sword after.
Yep.
So that's pretty cool.
Striga is one badass woman.
Yeah. As soon as she put on her daylight armor and pulled out her big old sword, I was just like, just Guts.
Yeah.
It's the coolest thing. But yeah, really great ending. I'm really hoping for a season 5. Who knows though? So since last I've spoken with you two fellers, I've got my bass fully painted. I just put on the hardware. That's what the headstock's looking like. So that's 8 knobs.
Toad Star.
Yep. Painted, looking like a sword. It's not the best finish in the world because, well, I'm not good at it, and you know, a 2-part fretboard fingerboard is really hard to do. I just put in my pickups this morning, and I just finished putting on the bridge as we were doing sound check and all that. My handle is currently off, but the handle's right here. It's going to be connected right here, all the way down. There's the pommel, and my brother spoke with a coworker. Well, not a coworker, but a guy that we work with a lot, and he was like, "Dang, you know, it would be hecka cool if you had the input jack in the pommel." So that's what I got right here. There's the input jack and all that ready to go. I just need to wire everything up. I'm super stoked for it, though.
That's groovy.
That is epic. I like it a lot.
Thank you.
Well, dang. You know, that's going to be hard to top, but, you know, I bet you Mike could top it. What have you been working on, Mike?
Oh, before we get to that, I do have the sponsor of the episode right now. There's not a sponsor, accepting sponsorships.
All day, son, all day. I will work for pie.
Yeah, who wouldn't? Yeah, so it's been an interesting week at the resort and also doing the guitar stuff. I know I haven't gotten the video out yet, but I'm pouring epoxy and I'm letting it cure right now. You guys are going to see some serious shit soon. And I almost have figured out how I'm going to have the body stained or painted, and I think I might go back to my roots and use something called unicorn spit, which I colloquially call unicorn spunk. But that's where I'm at with it right now, boys. I got stuff cut out.
What is unicorn spit?
Ooh, I'm so glad you asked.
It is a type of stain, right?
So it is a gel-based stain, and it smells like fucking lavender when you put it on. It is some girly shit, and it is cheap, but it does some cool stuff. It's not great, it's not good, but it does stuff. Some people have done some really
cheap and easy. That's what we like around here.
Yeah, I've seen some people do some really. What's that?
I ain't even gonna knock the girly stuff because my favorite color is purple.
Yeah.
I do like smelling good because I toot a lot, so you know it's either smelling like marshmallow, like lavender. So
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that, but it's I've seen some people do some really cool projects with it, and it was one of the first things that I bought when I started building guitars. So I thought I would actually put some of these to good work because I did spend like $60 on like 20 colors. So
Yeah, honestly, that ain't bad.
Ain't cheap.
No.
Yeah, I mean stains ain't cheap, especially if you want a lot of different colors.
But this though is non-toxic.
Exactly.
That's the cool thing that everybody forgets about is this stuff is non-toxic, right? We work with some pretty crazy shit as amateur woodworkers and guitar builders and touchers and stuff like that, right? But this stuff, it's decent and it smells nice. Like you get laid because of this stuff, guys. Like you should start using it,
So, so basically, when you're finishing your guitar, putting your stain on and stuff, you take a swig and then give some to the homies, right?
No, I wouldn't recommend drinking it, But what I'm saying non-toxic though is like it doesn't have like gases in it that'll fucking kill you in your sleep. Because I don't know if I ever told you guys this, but I used to spray lacquer in my kitchen with the window open, and that was a really fucking wrong idea. And I started noticing that some of my frozen food in the freezer started to taste awfully funky. And I mean, like, chemically. And I'm like, what the fuck? So I put an end to that real quick.
But it had a pretty nice finish out of there, right?
Yeah, it does look okay. It's just you gotta really work it because it's something that really settles on the surface of the piece. So you have to work it on thick. And there's not really much like going back after you put it on, like in terms of like trying to sand it smooth, because you'll just go right through it, right? So, in fact, I wanted to do a little bit of show and tell because I was doing some tests earlier today. And let me just pull this up on the big screen. So you remember earlier I sent you a picture of this piece of wood right here that I had cleaned up from the right here from the offcuts of my shit. So you can see here, this has been stained white, and it definitely looks whiter than the other one. But as soon as I put tongue oil on it or lacquer, the unicorn spunk really disappeared. So you got to really throw it on thick if you want it to not disappear on you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that happened with my my base. I used a metallic silver paint for the sword part, obviously the sharp blade part, and I just lacquered it yesterday and the day before. I was just throwing coats of lacquer on it, and for some reason it turned it's giving it like streaks of red. I don't know if you guys could tell, if you could see it.
Yeah, let me pull this up on the big screen.
Yeah, it's like streaks
of red. There it is.
But I mean, at the end of the day, it's not that bad. It actually reminds me of like a sword covered in blood, so I'm not really tripping off of it.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you guys think? What does it look like to you in the screen?
Can you pull that up again? Sorry, I was trying to clean my laptop off after some coffee got on it.
There's the back of the base.
Yeah, I mean it looks like it's supposed to be a sword with dried blood on it. Honestly,
like dried blood and rust and all that.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, it's not what I was going for. Happy accident.
Yeah.
Happy accident.
Well, I've had quite a few happy accidents with finishing. When I made the guitar for Jim Ty, I used a combination of trying to stain the top of the instrument using some Minwax Barnyard Red, which is a petroleum-based stain, and that stuff is actually really good. I really like that stuff. And I ended up patching up spots with some of the unicorn spit that got kind of thin, but I didn't want to have so much bleed over from reapplying the oil-based stain and then having to sand it like even. So I was able to kind of like do like a little bit of a hybrid with both of those products and get that to work out good when I put on the enamel clear coat. So fun times.
Oh yeah, I mean, hey, as long as it works out.
Yeah.
So where are you at on your guitar, anyways, Mike?
Body is got the resin in it right now, and it's curing. It's been cut out, routed. Cool. Yeah, we'll have some really cool video up soon.
So you're telling me you're actually probably gonna make it?
I think so.
Because I've been questioning for a couple weeks now. Like, I don't know, if Mike's gonna make it, man. He's putting
I
it off a
know.
little bit.
Yeah.
I was talking to my bro on the phone the other day, and I was like, "Yo, Mike's a fucking cheater, man. He's just gonna skip great guitar build off altogether. He's just gonna use his guitar that he has right now as a head start for our Halloween costume."
No, but I might
Oh, man.
reuse the template that I made because I really like how it looks. And after getting it sized down so I can.
That's what it's there for.
Yeah, well, getting it sized down so that I can fit it in my planer, right? Because I have 12.5 inches I can work with on the mouth of my planer. So after I went and dicked around with getting the blade slipped over, which really pissed me off because I had to dick around with that and hit it with chisels and try to carve holes. Like, it was fucking pain in the asshole, right? It's not how I like spending my day. And then having problems with my bandsaw again, too. Like, that's been another, like, headache. It's like I come home from work, all I want to do is build this fucking guitar, and it's like my bandsaw doesn't want to cut this thick-ass maple. I'm like, what the fuck? So,
Hey,
Dude,
Maple's some hard stuff, I
yeah,
mean, it's no ebony, but it's pretty up there.
I'm actually having an internal debate with myself which one is harder, Purple Heart or Maple, and I still think that it's Purple Heart, but sometimes I really question it.
Yeah.
I'd say probably Maple, honestly, but I mean, I only have one piece of Purple Heart, and I'll cut through it on my bandsaw for fretboards, so it's 4 inches thick or something like that, trying to make a fretboard out of it, and it doesn't seem like it's as hard to cut through as a piece of maple, like a really sturdy piece.
Well, one thing I noticed with Maple.
One of these days, we're just gonna have to do a blind test.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, look how
Somebody blindfold themselves and use a fucking bandsaw.
Yeah.
Yep. Indeed.
That's how people lose fingers, man. But no, check this out. Like, look how much the bandsaw ended up scorching this. And my blade,
shit out of that.
Yeah, and my blade would stop so many fucking times, right? And then, like, if you were being a douchebag and you didn't cut out enough relief cuts, right? You have to pull the fucking thing out, readjust the blade, snap it all back together, turn it on, start cutting again, right? And be like, right? And then fucking have the whole thing happen all over again.
I mean, do you got a big stand-up bandsaw, or do you got a little benchtop one?
I got a benchtop one, man. I'm a piece of shit.
Okay. Well, no, I mean, hey, that's what we had for a long time, and it'll do that. They just don't have enough power.
Yeah.
All of our starting equipment was all benchtop stuff, and we've been slowly over the course of building guitars, getting bigger machinery, and man, it really makes a difference. You're gonna get your first stand-up big bandsaw, and you're gonna be like, "Where's this been all my life?" You're just gonna be honing your inner Adam Savage, just having your fingers super close to the blade and stuff. Like, nothing's gonna happen to me. I'm immortal.
Just flying everywhere, like, I'll be fine. Don't even worry about it, guys.
Yeah.
I started with a tabletop one. This is nothing.
But that's the thing,
Yep.
though, and I think that's something that, like, a lot of, like, neophyte woodworkers kind of mistake is when they buy these cheaper tools that they're expecting they're going to get crazy results with it, right? Like, we watch Ben Crow and all those other guys just fucking rip apart boards with their bandsaw. And then us, we sit there, we had a couple of beers, it's a little bit late on a Tuesday evening, and we're like, yeah, let's go bust out the Ryobi and see what happens. And then we end up going, what the fuck? How come this goddamn thing isn't cutting? How come it keeps getting stuck? This isn't fair. My blade is all cockeyed. What the fuck? Like...
Yep.
But that's the difference with good tools. But
100%, yeah.
So back on the subject of finishing. There's a couple of finishes I always wanted to talk about and actually show off a couple of the things that I use and kind of see if this is the same shit you guys use too. Like right here, this is what I use for all my clear coating now instead of like the enamel clear coat I did on Jim's guitar. This works really well and it dries very quickly. I can't get anything better than that, really. And it builds that nice protective finish that everybody likes because they like looking through an inch of frickin' lacquer into their finish. And then, this stuff. This for being as cheap as it is very good. And I encourage all of our neophyte woodworking audience to use this stuff because it's cheap and it actually is very forgiving. So what do you guys use?
Yeah.
I really like wipe-on polyurethane. Let me grab that real quick. Yeah.
Yeah. While he's grabbing that, I.
Hey.
Wipe-on poly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You put like 5 or 6 coats on, and comes out real nice. Throw like a 1200 grit sand on it, polish it up, and it comes out really nice. I really like that stuff. And for like fretboards, this is what I use for my fretboard this time.
Ooh.
True oil.
Mm-hmm.
That's the good stuff. I got some of that in my case over here.
Yeah, it's nice. It comes out as oil, wipes down, and then it like solidifies.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah, hardens up.
and all that.
Yep.
So
Yeah,
those are my 2 favorites.
You can really build up something really nice with the True Oil. I've actually done a lot of the necks for a couple of my guitars, my acoustic, which looks like dog shit because I just got real baked and tried to refinish it after it'd been fucked up. But that's a different story altogether. But I really do like what True Oil is. It is definitely a little bit more difficult to apply than just tongue oil because you actually have to pay attention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, if you let that stuff stack up too much, it'll really yellow up and stuff, and not be fun.
But though the results speak for themselves though, and it gives you something you can really go nuts with. Even hit it with some steel wool afterwards to get it really nice and shiny, or even dull it down.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like you can make it kind of matte, you can make it a little bit shiny. Like it's great. Like it's honestly some of the best stuff you can use. It's just the learning curve is the only thing you got to be careful of, and it can be a little cost prohibitive. You go to Walmart, you get one of those little tiny bottles for like $7.99. Like that doesn't make any sense to me, right? Like when you have just enough to do a gun stock, it's like, come on, guys, really?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's why Amazon's taking over the world.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, we can get, as far as low-level guitar builders, we can get anything we need off of Amazon, with the exceptions of a few things that you have to go to like StewMac or Crimson Guitars or something for. But
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is. I mean, they even have StewMac stuff on Amazon for a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Yep. Truss rods and all that.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
So,
Thanks for reminding me. I got to get that ordered like this week, or I'm gonna have to go pull apart a neck to grab one.
So what you're telling me is you're not gonna make it. Got it.
No.
It'd be a great Halloween guitar.
No, I actually have like one of those Telecaster kits, and I haven't been happy with the neck that I made for it. Like I have 2 of these Telecaster kits I did up, but the red one never really got assembled, and I was gonna make that one for my kit. But I was thinking, if it gets really down to the wire, I'm just gonna take a fucking chisel to that fretboard and rip that son of a bitch right off and yank that truss rod out. If it gets down to the 11th hour, I'm gonna record the whole thing. And it's going to look great. I'm just going to bash this thing open with a hammer. Well, maybe not a hammer.
Hey.
I mean, you could always
Tim Sway would be proud.
Yeah. No, actually, he'd probably
truss rod in and hope for the best.
Yeah, he'd probably freak out actually because he'd be like, "Why the fuck did you break this guitar?"
No, Ben Crow's past few podcasts or live streams, whatever you want to call them, he's been really preaching you need a truss rod, in his things,
Yeah.
It's just,
But I've actually, I've been debating doing something a little bit more Fenderish with the truss rod install, because this is an entire maple body and maple neck. You remember how a lot of those earlier Fenders had that skunk stripe that went down the back of the neck? That's actually
because they installed from the back.
Yeah, I'm thinking about doing that potentially, right? And maybe
that'd be cool. Have it
like that.
have access through the where the pickups are for your truss rod.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a little bit more of a pain, but I was also thinking about getting one of those little dial things so I could cut out a little chunk of the fretboard so you can use the thing right at the last fret. Because nobody plays that fret anyway, so might as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm still working on playing any frets, having enough time to actually practice guitar. I'm coming down to the wire. I'm like, dang, I got to relearn how to play guitar before my build's done, so I can have like a preview in it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, God, I'm really worried about how this is all going to come together because I have all the parts to do this except for the truss rod. So the truss rod's not really a problem because I can always bust it out of the other China neck that I bought a long time ago. China, right?
Yeah.
So we'll go China that thing up.
China.
Yeah. Someone's going to have a fucking heart attack over that. So hey, another finished thing I forgot to mention. I prepared for today's podcast a Sujibon block, right? And this is
Nice.
This is just burnt, lightly sand, right? Because I wanted to show off a couple of the different things of why we want to actually get the piece of wood completely sanded perfectly before we torch it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Because without finishing the sanding work on this, it's going to leave a lot of the marks on the wood, and they just get embellished by the fact that you burned it. So, but
when you sanded it and all that, did you sand it, spray a little bit of water to raise the grain, and do that a couple times, or was it just like a straight sand?
So I actually did do a water application on it, but that was like I didn't want to get this completely flat for the sake of demonstration, you know, or completely finished. Because the next part of this, where'd my spunk go? There it is. So the next part of this, guys, is I'm just gonna, because I don't know if you guys have ever used this before. But watch this.
Right? Oh wow, that is thick.
Yeah, thick with fucking 8 C's in it, you know? So
yeah, that's thick like a white girl in Compton, baby.
Got some booty.
It's got some booty, right?
I mean, that's basically just acrylic paint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically. But it's allegedly some type of like gel compound. But you can see here, though.
Does it permeate the wood or what?
No, not really. But I find that it actually does better, like in these Sujibon like applications, because where you have some of the wood that's like the soft grain that you've taken out with your sanding after you clean it up, a lot of this stuff actually gets left right in those spots after you do a quick surface scan or sanding.
Gotcha.
All right. So I'm just going around and just getting this all tidied up. Right, and we'll come back to this in a few minutes and see what happens. Because this stuff only takes about 15 minutes to dry in my experience, especially when you've done something like this, because the wood just tries to soak it all up. Especially because I hit it with mineral spirits after I torched it and cleaned it up. But now it looks like
Since we're talking about stains and all that, this is the stain that we use. It's a leather dye stain. Who are you watching that uses this? Is it Big D?
Yeah, Big D guitars.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the Anglais. Yeah.
Yeah. And this is the jet black dye, and that is what I used on this. That's one coat. That's all it is.
Wow.
And,
that hit it hard.
It's an alcohol based stain, and you know, that I didn't do any sanding to that because I wanted it as black as possible. But, alcohol-based stain. So if you want it off for any reason, you just put some alcohol on a rag, wipe it off real quick, do a little bit of sand, like a light sand, and it's gone. So it's pretty nice.
Yeah, and you know,
that's some good stuff.
Yeah,
we've done a lot of our guitars. I'll actually go grab one. I have one here in the studio. Let me grab one that has a cool gradient to it.
Ooh. Yeah, and I think it's worth mentioning too that there's a lot of intrinsic value in using alcohol-based dyes. It's not just the fact that they gas off really quickly because they're alcohol, but you can use them in a lot of different applications. Like I think that you can color lacquer with certain alcohol dyes, if I'm not mistaken. And
that sounds like it would work, yeah.
Yeah, and also the ability to cut back on the application by just using some alcohol to grab that and being able to sand it gives you a lot of different choices for making things like gradients and so on. So I think that the alcohol based ones should definitely be explored as much as possible by our newer folks, even if they're a little bit more expensive. You know.
I don't
Yep.
think we spent that much money on them, huh?
Nah, it wasn't too expensive.
It was like $70 for like 10 colors or something.
Oh,
But,
really?
I mean, they last forever. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to buy
I
some.
mean,
Yeah.
This is the one he did. It was a red to yellow gradient, correct? This is our Vacuum
Yep.
Stampede guitar.
Geweiß des Stampede.
Let's see if I can get a good. There we go. Okay.
There you go.
Yeah.
Geweiß
Yeah, I
des
did it.
Stampede.
So this down here, that's ox blood.
Yeah.
Went that into red and then yellow up top, and that's all that same dye. And yeah, this one's all shot up because Vash Stampede's a fucking hooligan and gets shot up. But yeah,
Yeah.
That's
love
cool.
the way this one came out.
I like that.
Oh, and
Sad thing
he
about
did
that
a check this, Mike. He did
Yeah,
a gun for the headstock.
that is fucking awesome.
Pew, pew, pew,
Pew 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 pew. Yeah. Sad
It's not
story
pew
on
pew,
that
Kenny.
one.
It's bang 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 bang.
When we made that body, we were actually planning on bringing it out to the countryside and shooting it with actual guns and all that. But
Mm-hmm.
the day that we decided to go shooting, it was just like the worst rainstorm we had all year, and it was like
Yep.
November. It
Yeah.
was just a monsoon, so we
Yeah.
didn't go out because I mean, it was all my guns. I didn't want my guns wet.
Yeah, well, I don't blame you
Yeah.
on that. As somebody that's had to
We
restore,
were on a time crunch and all that stuff.
yeah, I've had to restore my tools from being on the porch, and just thinking about having to do that to guns where precision is the gospel. I don't think I could do that
Yeah.
to my guns. No.
I mean, the thing is, it would be fine as long as soon as you got home, you dried it off, you oiled them all up and all that. But me, every time I've ever gone shooting, I went shooting, got home, put my guns off to the side, and then I just forget about them for like 2 months, and then I'll clean them. So I'm like, nah, I can't do it.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've shot actually, and I miss it. Like skeet shooting is so much fun. I highly suggest that everybody does it. Get a 410, go skeet shooting with the boys. That's good affirming male activity right there. It's very good for your mental health, and Furlan 2024. You know what I'm saying? That's how we're
Yep.
gonna do this.
I mean, this is turning into a very toxic masculine podcast of the day.
Oh yeah, we always take it somewhere interesting.
Yep, exactly. So how's that Shushiban treating you over there, Mike?
So, one thing I just wanted to show you is that we actually have some of the sap showing in here at the bottom of the wood. So this is something to be on the lookout for when you're actually doing this stuff. Is that you really have to cook that out if you see it.
Yep, melt right out.
So this is
Especially
completely
if your end grain is in a weird spot.
yeah. So this is completely dry right now. I would actually probably give this
That
another.
was quick.
Yeah, I'd probably give this another 30 minutes before doing anything to it. But what the next thing in my process is with something like this, right? So imagine I'm going to use this test piece as like some guitar body. We'll pretend that this is a huge plank of wood and we're all cool like that. When I get it to this point where it's good and dry, I'm going to hit it with a scrubby, not a steel scrubby, but one of the 3M scrubbies, right? Like I think like the gray one or the green
yeah.
one. Yeah. And I'm just going to lightly
Basically
go.
the abrasive side of a sponge.
Yeah. And what it's going to do is it's going to knock back all the stuff that's sitting on top of the hard grain, and everything that settled into the soft grain that got sanded out is going to remain white. So what we'll end up with as a final piece is something that has white grain in it. So give that a few minutes,
Cool.
and I'll grab that sponge thingy, and we'll see how it comes out. So it'll be fun times.
I would like to talk about what I use for filling grain if I want colorful grain.
Yeah.
Let me
Yeah. Show us how you fill
all right,
those
check
holes.
this out.
Show us the way. This is the way.
Yeah.
This stuff right here. This is just what is it? Drywall putty.
Yeah.
It is drywall joint compound.
Joint compound.
So it's thicker than the regular putty you use.
Mm-hmm. So I just mix it with paint, and I'll add a little bit of water to make it a little thinner, and I'll just slather it on everything, and like really work it in there, blah blah blah, work it, and then once I sand it down, everything will be filled in with the correct color, whatever I want.
Oh,
so
nice.
That's a really easy and useful method, and that also does like a filling job, so everything will be flush as well. Like if you just want to flush it out, just match the color of your wood, and if you're painting it, you don't even have to match the color. You just flush it out, sand it down, and then from there you do a sanding sealer, and then you do your paint job, and it's really useful stuff.
Yeah, you know, and I want to stress the importance to everybody that it's okay to experiment with different things to do not joint filling, but grain filling. Because there's more stuff on the market than just that aqua shit that everybody buys, right? Because that stuff is kind of not cheap, and you know, with all the other products that exist out there like Timbermate, like drywall joint compound, even Bondo.
Joint compound was $3.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, or even Bondo.
I've used wood grain filler.
Yeah, Bondo, that stuff works really good for a grain filler and all that stuff, especially if you have a gnarly ding on it. You know, you just put that on, let it dry, and then sand it to shape and touch up the paint.
Oh,
you know.
Yeah, I mean, I've used wood grain filler to do the same thing as I use the joint compound for, but it's a lot harder to use, and this stuff is much better for like bigger faces.
Yeah.
You know? So. And yes, I've used wood grain filler on literally every guitar I've ever made.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with using grain filler. It's part of the hustle. In fact, I've had to rebuild a whole cavity using grain filler. The Purple Rain guitar that I built, or no, not the Purple Rain, the Swamp Thing. One of the knob cavity things, the knob hole. There you go. Right? That shit got all fucked up. So I had to go redo it again from scratch using your grain filler. Jesus Christ, guys. So I rebuilt that with grain filler, and I fortified that with super glue after I put that together, just to be on the safe side, because it is going to be holding a knob in a pot, so it's got to be somewhat stable. But because I was doing a lacquer finish, I could get away with doing all that for the sake of structural integrity. But if you're trying to do something that's definitely visible, your traditional grain filler is going to do good for that. But Bondo and probably your joint compound is going to work great if you're just coloring the top of your instrument, you know? Like if you're going to have a completely opaque color on top, then all bets are off. Just fucking clean it up good.
So Mike, the cavity that you're talking about, how big is it? Like, are you going to just be doing a whole gloop of it, or?
So
from what it sounds like, I would personally make a wood plug and then do the grain fill or whatever around it.
Yeah.
Just to make it more solid.
Well, I actually wanted to challenge myself and try to use a little bit of sculpting ability, just because I figured like this would be something I'd encounter again in the future and have to learn how to do properly. But because there wasn't really a lot of meat to the wood in the cavity, it made the prospect of trying to do a plug and flush cutting the plug and everything else kind of a scary thing. So that's why I opted to use the grain filler and worked it and shaped it while it was in soft, and then fortified it with the super glue afterwards to give it that extra strength. So that's how I did it. Oh yeah. But I mean, the plugging is definitely the better way to do it. No doubt about it. You should always be using plugs wherever possible. Whether it be like you just change tuners and the screws are just a little bit of a different size. Yeah, plug them and re-screw them. Like, you're going to be a lot more secure that way. But
oh yeah,
you gotta make do with what you got sometimes. And when you're working with a curved top Les Paul, that, you know, doing the plug I saw was just going to add a lot more time to the repair than I really felt like investing in. So
Fair
I took the
enough. And like
cheapany.
you said, experimenting is something that new guitar builders are supposed to be doing. So
Yeah,
worked
yeah.
out perfect.
Yeah, I mean, and then like, you know, 5 years down the line, I'm gonna make guitars completely out of Timbermate and super glue, and they'll sell for $6,000 on eBay. So you know, you'll see the advantage of that soon, guys. I swear. So I'm
Yeah,
gonna go
one of
grab.
these days.
I'm gonna go
An
grab that
empire.
thing. Yeah, I'm gonna go grab that thing real quick and then scrape that off. So I'll be right back, guys.
All right,
Cool.
sounds good, man.
Trav, why don't you tell us where you're at on your guitar?
Okay. So today I am approximately, getting there. I'm about a week away from finishing it, honestly. I just glued the neck on this week. I shaped the back of the neck onto the heel, onto the, heel of the neck, so it's a nice contour for your hand and all that stuff. Coming back to the grain filler, I packed some grain filler in the little open spots that were under there exposed and all that stuff. I cut a back cavity because I put that off for too long for whatever reason.
You came and picked up that back cover cut off for me today, huh?
Yep. I worked on that. I got that pretty close down. I need to grind it down a little closer to the body, and then I'm gonna sand it flush, and that should come out pretty gnar. But I got it cut down to the correct shape so far. You know
what I started doing with all my back plates and stuff like that? I'll glue it to the reference board and just throw it through the planer.
Yeah.
I'll just keep doing that until it's the perfect thickness, so I don't have to like sand it down or anything. It's a lot easier that way.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely believe that, but the hard part about that is our planer is at your house, so.
Yeah. I mean, if it was at your house, you'd be crying because there'd be no room in your garage.
I don't got any room. My garage is hecka little.
There's a giant desk in my garage.
Nah, dude, we burned that sumbitch.
Dang, already? What kind of wood?
Yep. Nothing special. I mean, I saved a couple chunks off of it, but the top, it was just like press board, particle shit. So, nothing worth saving. I was gonna, because it looked like somebody put a new top on it and then re-wrapped the edges. So I was gonna, we ripped the top off, sanded it down, and I was gonna do a resin pour in it with a bunch of little knickknacks and stuff in there, and fill it all in and make it look nice. But then, did a little bit of quick math measuring, and measured that and measured my hallway to the room that it was going to go into. Turned out it wasn't even going to clear the hallway, so I would have had to take the hall closet door off so it didn't take out the doorknob. So,
in reference to all those people either listening or watching, it took me and him all that we had. We're a bunch of muscly cougars over here. That desk was what, like $350, something like that.
Oh yeah, at least it was a gnarly sized desk. It looked like a desk that was in like an old timey business owner's office. Come on, kid, let me lace you up a little bit. By the way, you're fired. One of those.
A bunch of cigar ashes all over the desk.
Oh yeah, man.
Yep.
Stereotypical capitalist pig. That's how it goes, man.
Yep.
Hey, Mike, I got a quick question before we go back on to fishing and all that.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to be wiring my guitar up pretty soon, and I don't know jack diddly shit about wiring.
Yeah.
So on one, let's say, inebriated night, I decided I wanted to buy some new wires.
Yeah.
I got some 16 gauge wires.
Yeah.
Are those too thick? Would that mess up anything, or is it fine?
I mean, I don't think that's really a problem.
Normal is 22 gauge, right?
Yeah. I don't think that's a problem, but you could just go buy like a Cat 6 cable and have all the wire that you ever fucking needed, and that would be like $5 compared to
Yeah.
because
Yeah, but this one came with purple.
oh, it did.
So
Okay, I can see why that's a compelling feature. So
You know how we feel about purple on this podcast.
Yeah, I got a purple
Like it a
guitar.
lot.
You guys got a purple guitar. Everybody loves
Yep.
them. So I'm almost done getting the surface of this like cleaned up.
Yeah. It looks like you're almost done with something over there.
You know, this is gonna need a little bit more treatment with sanding, right? But this is where we're at with it. So you can start to see how this stuff is.
And was that was a 1500 grit they used, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I just went and used a regular kitchen scrub because I have one of those on my porch. But you can see, like, really closely.
Very white trash of you, Mike.
Yeah. You see that grain popping on there, though?
Oh, yeah, that's looking good. Hot damn.
Now, if you guys excuse me for one more moment, right? And actually, let's do this really classy and quick here. Right? I'm going to do...
throw some denatured alcohol on it.
No, because I ain't that crazy yet. I was just going to go and throw just a quick application of tongue on the top of this.
Okay.
Because that's not entirely bad for me to breathe in. So.
I mean, it couldn't be worse than cigarettes, right?
Yeah.
Hey, do either of you guys know when the cut off the final video needs to be up for that great guitar build off?
The 30th.
Yes, I actually looked that up the other day. It's June 30th is when it's all up, and we have to have a no longer than 15-minute video shipped to them, along with 5 glamour shots of our nice-ass motherfucking guitars.
Well, I hope they
You know.
settle for my ugly ass grumpy guitar.
I was
Yep.
really thinking about putting...
Covered in blood guitar.
I was really thinking about making the cow cross-eyed in mine just to fuck with people.
I'm sure the majority of the guitars in this build off are not going to be, super high-end up-spec shit, so I'm sure people will understand.
Yeah, but that Dylan Talks
And,
Tone guy, he always comes out of left field with something nuts.
Does he?
Yeah, with his pickups anyways. Isn't he building a guitar? I forget, or is he
Yes,
just
he is.
judging? Okay, hold on.
No, he's actually building a guitar in this one. I think I looked it up the other day. I'm not sure if I seen anything of him building, or maybe I didn't look it up and I'm just talking mad shit.
All right, so here's where we're at with it. So this is after applying some tongue. You can see the scratches are being embellished.
Nice.
But I think that's pretty cool. And it doesn't.
What also works for that if you want like a silver tone like that is Rub and Buff.
Rub and Buff?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Isn't that some type
like-
of like thing that consenting adults do?
Yeah. I mean, sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After a long night and a bunch of booze-a-hall.
Yeah, budget booze-a-hall. I think what was it? Early Curly called it party liquor.
Party.
Oh, yeah.
Early Kyler. My
Yeah.
party liquor.
Oh, we gotta get some
Get
party
off my
liquor up in
porch. Get out your house.
Boy, I'm proud of you. Take you a dip.
Take you a dip.
I fucking love that show.
Stuff is real nice. From our background in like making cosplay play stuff like that. It's
Nice.
a really useful thing.
Why don't you show that on the big screen, Mike? That's looking good.
And that's only
Oh, mama.
with one application.
Quick, somebody grab the bass. Do 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 ba ba do ba do do do.
Yeah.
Boo.
That's only with one application of the unicorn spunk. So again, just putting it out there. Whoever the crazy lady is that makes this stuff, I love you. Please give me some of this. I will follow your product till the day I die, as long as I can get free stuff of it. Because I've already given you money, so you should give me
I
some.
got this, Mike. Not a sponsor.
Cough, cough.
Accepting sponsorship.
Yeah.
Cough, cough. All of the hosts of the Guitar Builders podcast would like some free stuff from Unicorn Spit, please.
Yeah.
And also our guests.
And we should make our own line of colors because we're like the YouTubers where we call it Unicorn Spunk, you know? Just to make it legitimate. You know, that's how the deal goes. We got our own line. We make our own profits. You know, it'll be great. But, yeah, so that stuff right there is cheap. And it's fun to work with because it's really versatile and it's pretty compatible with most finishes. Except if you've only done one application of it, it disappears pretty quick with the application of tongue or even lacquer. Like I use this stuff on my test block on half of it. Like the test block is split down the middle where it was done up with lacquer and tongue oil. But you know, you can definitely see it's a lot.
I mean, I could definitely see the white in the grain from the Unicorn Spunk.
Yeah, but it's definitely, you know, it's going to give you results, but not necessarily the type of results you're looking for unless you want to build it up and keep working it. But that's with just one application.
Kind of the naming of the game.
Yeah, that's just with one application. It's pretty incredible. It gives you that much of a difference. You know, especially looking at the other piece of the wood, right? Like, look how much more yellow the untreated part is compared to this white part. And of course, there's the lacquer's on the bottom, tongue oil's on the top of that piece at the joint. So, it's cool.
Looks good.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. We should do more finishing stuff. That's fun.
All right, guys. Well, I think we're getting pretty close. What are we hoping for to be done on our guitars individually up to our next podcast? So in a week's time, what are you looking to do? We'll start with my bro. Are you hoping to be done? Are you hoping to get to a certain spot? What's up?
You know, honestly, I think by all means I should be done. The only reason I wouldn't be done is because I'll put off my wiring, my pickups and all that for like a week and a half. But by all means, I should be done by next weekend.
All right.
So,
yeah. I mean, I think I'm probably in the same boat. You know, I should be in all likelihood just about done with mine next weekend. I was hoping for this weekend because it's a 3-day weekend, baby. Ooh. But comes with in the territory of 3-day weekends also comes the territory of booze-a-hall and watching TV and, you know, all that stuff. So
nice.
But yeah, what about you, Mike? Where are you trying to be by this time next week, baby?
So this time next week, I am either going to have the neck cut and ready for fretting. That's what I hope to be at. I might decide to go out of left field and not use a truss rod, or I just might yank that truss rod out of that Chinese import neck that I got with that kit from a long time ago. I don't know if that still makes it classify as a...
this for you.
Yeah?
But, all right, hear me out.
Okay, I'm listening to you.
This will finish your guitar way quicker.
Mm-hmm.
Fretless.
Fretless? I actually did think about that, to be honest, but I didn't think that I was going to do that to this one. But if I did do that this one...
Cough, cough. I think you still need a truss rod if you're doing a fretless guitar.
Yeah.
You do.
Yeah, definitely do.
I mean, you could go without a truss rod, but Ben Crow would be very disappointed in you, Mike.
Well, listen here, Ben Crow. I don't need to take your shit, okay, buddy? Okay? I will make the most powerful and delicious guitar that I can, because I can. And I will make it from the materials that I have, because I'm in Vermont. And that's how we do things. Because in the caves of Vermont, we make guitars. Because guitars are good for everybody.
Hey, and you know what? This is America. We do things the way we want to around these parts. We don't give our people health care. We don't give a fuck about nothing around here. Trump, sideways 8, baby. Hackabading.
I know, we sit there fucking every time we put a screw in the fucking in the back of the tuning machines, we shoot a gun to like fucking celebrate, you know, like we're fucking nuts over here. Fucking drink a fucking quart of beer every time we get a fucking string strung up. Fucking
We don't drink pints around these parts, baby.
Yep, exactly.
Just had
We
to
don't
show
like
you.
your kind around these parts, non-guitar makers and such. Anyways, why don't you lead us out of here, Mike?
Everybody, it has been a wonderful evening, an intriguing evening of finishing and banter of things that we do not understand but love. I leave you tonight with this thought in your mind. To do or not to do, you must build, because that is the question of life, is to make before you break. And on that note, I want to thank Trevor, Travis, Superior Communications, the chick from the Unicorn Spunk Company, and our friends at Minwax. Every one of you. You have contributed to today's podcast, whether you like it or not. So, 420 blaze it out. This has been Mike. Trevor, Travis, say your goodbyes, because we're about to hit the button.
All right, guys. See y'all on the next one. Later.
Boom.